Sports. Hey, we're back again. What's up, Sean?
Hey, brother. How you guys doing, man?
Living a dream, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well. Just been staying busy today. I was out there pressure washing my driveway all morning.
Ooh,
I'm feeling accomplished.
hell yeah. Definitely feeling accomplished. The pressure washing out in that heat sometimes, man, it gets you. Even with the mist, it just makes it like more humid, and you're just like baking out there, especially when you're on like asphalt.
Yeah. Feels good to get it done, though.
Yeah, I'm in the process of buying a new house here, so we're looking at houses. I did that and got 4 to look at tomorrow. Wasn't feeling good, had a super high heart rate. So, you know, hey, we'll try to lessen that stress a little bit as we move forward and talk a little bit Steelers. As you guys can put in the chat anything you guys want to talk about, hit that like button for us. Also, we're just going to kind of have a more of a free night here tonight here on Steel City Live, as we can just like kind of go with the chat, what you guys are really wanting to talk about, itching to talk about as we move forward with your Pittsburgh Steelers. Is there anything pressing on your mind, Sean, that you would like to bring up before we really get started?
Seems like people are all worked up, like Ryan Clark commenting and saying stuff about Kenny Pickett starting, and people are getting all mad about it. And I thought that was funny, just because you know what? Whether it's Mason or whoever or Kenny, these guys got a plan, and we're gonna stand behind our team, and we're gonna, I think everything will work out pretty good this year. I'm excited, regardless.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Am I a Kenny Pickett fan? Absolutely not. But will I root for Kenny Pickett if he's the day one starter on week 1, day 1 of the season? Absolutely, I will. Just like everybody else will. Because why? We want our team to be successful, and we want our team to win. We want to be competitive inside of the NFL and not be 3rd, 4th in the AFC North. Like, we don't want that. And I think the Steelers did do good last year inside of the AFC North. And do you think the Steelers do you think they're going to kind of remain the same 5-1 record inside of the AFC North? We'll get into some other offseason talk, but just do you think they're going to have a good chance next year, no matter who's at quarterback, Kenny or Mason? Do you think they'll still have an excellent chance to be competitive, even though Joe Burrow will be back, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson? Do you think the Steelers are built well enough to have still that chance to go 5-1, 4-2 inside of the AFC North?
I think if they fix the offensive line, and fill those holes that they can, like you say, it doesn't matter who's in that quarterback between these guys who they pick. Is if they can fix the O line and then get a few good linebackers, that's going to go a long way. And yeah, I think I can see him doing good in the AFC North again.
Yeah, I can too. I can see him doing some stuff. I can see him still making some moves, man. There's holes, and we know that. You know that. There's holes at center. There's holes at tackle. They need another good cornerback. Yeah, there's some potential in other guys. We get that, but they need to fill those holes, and that's understandable. But I think the Steelers are going to be able to have enough this year in the offseason with free agency, with draft capital, that they could be able to make some moves and fill some holes. And I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility that they do fill several of them. What's up, George? What do you think with what they have right now in terms of draft picks, in terms of ability to make some money up here in free agency, to have some available cap space? Do you think they're going to be able to plug all the holes, or do you still think they're going to walk into 2024 with quite a few question marks, or do you think they'll be pretty short up?
I think that they should be able to fill most of the holes, considering the depth that we saw last year. We got some guys that are willing to come off the bench and step up and want to go out there and make a name for themselves. And I think that they just make a few good draft picks, fill in a few of the big holes that they need, and I think guys can step up and really put something together. Get that locker room.
Yeah, I'm reading here, Sean. King Kabbalah, DD King Kabbalah, I believe. Steelers' new coaching staff angered at Pickett criticism. Do you think people are going too hard on this, though? Honestly. Or do you think it's deserved? What's up, John? Do you think it's deserved, dude? The dude did win games. I won't say he didn't win games, but in the manner they were winning wasn't because, it was just Kenny Pickett's arm. what about this fan outrage with people? Do you think the coaching staff is right by being angry, saying that the media is pushing a narrative that the team should move on from Kenny Pickett? Do you think this is deserved?
Man, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think it's deserved. No, I don't. I really don't. I think the media does have a. They get out of line and they push narratives and they want to try to sell. Their whatever they're trying to put out there. They're trying to sell it and make it interesting and get people to clickbait and all that shit. Yeah, I don't think it's deserved, brother. Hey, what's up,
Yeah,
John? How you doing, fam?
yeah, man, I agree. It's just like literally, we can bash his play, we can be critical, but I don't think the media needs to drive a narrative of people being bad people. I don't think that that's a good one. Because, like, even just with that little thing last year where they say he didn't want to be the backup to Mason, I get that. And if that's the truth, then shame on Kenny. That's bullshit. But we can't paint guys to be just bad people and shit like that. That's where I think I get the most upset with the media. Things like that, where they kind of just ride into people a little bit too hard, you know?
Yeah,
Uh, Sean, mom and I are watching. There you go. You got the fam. Nice. All
glad,
right, guys.
glad you guys are tuned in. Right on. That's awesome.
They're 49er fans too, ain't they?
Um,
No?
I
Who's
think
fan?
my
What?
yeah, my mom's a 49er fan and John's a Seattle Seahawks fan.
Oh, okay. There you go. Thank you, Danny. But again, we are Mic Drop Sports and we welcome everybody, man, for all teams. We'll talk about it all as much as we possibly can. We don't know some stuff about some of these other teams, but we'll try our damn best because we got this little thing here. It's called the internet right here beside us. So we can definitely make sure we can utilize that tool as we move forward. But again, guys, hit that like button. What's up, JD? Got some regulars starting to hop in. What's up? Yeah, hey guys, hit that like button for us as we move forward. If there's anything you guys want to talk about here with the Pittsburgh Steelers concerning, free agency that's coming up, concerning people that they could possibly cut, because I can honestly say, guys, I really think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have to make some moves here. The tampering period starts March 11th, which is next week. Um, you're going to start seeing some moves from the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Uh, and one being a big topic that I've been seeing lately, wide receiver, slot type receiver, Allen Robinson, the guy
Yeah,
that's going to be damage on the cap, man, at $10 million. Now I'm seeing some rumors, people saying, hey, if we could get him back underneath a lower cap number, that would be okay, that they're willing to do that. But if he's going to come back at that same cap number, I don't think that Steelers are going to be willing to do business with one Allen Robinson. Do you think that that's a wise decision? Do you think, too, if the Steelers get him down to $2 or $3 million as a cap hit, that you would take another chance on Allen Robinson? Or do you think his career's just a little bit starting to pass him by? He did well in Jacksonville. He did well in Chicago, got hurt with the Rams, and now he finds himself in Pittsburgh. Do you think maybe Allen's just a little bit wore out here?
I personally would like to see him move on from him. I didn't think he was all that productive last year, and he might be running to the end of his career here, and they need to bring in maybe a younger guy out of maybe they can find out of the draft. I don't know. Maybe they can who knows? But I think maybe they should just go the other way. They need to let him go. That's my own personal opinion, though.
Mm-hmm. Um, I think they got to have some more production from that slot receiver spot, man, in 2024. You can't go in there having that limited production that they did. Thank you, Danny, for that those kind words, man. Stephen Carpenter brings up Jerome Baker would be a solid signing. Are you talking about the Miami Dolphins linebacker, Jerome Baker? Is that who you're talking about, Stephen? I think that's who you're talking about. No, that wouldn't be. Um, JD says, "How about that JPJ Short? You post, yeah, he's a beast, dude." Roderick did it last year. He threw down the same coach. The same coach has got his ass thumped 2 years in a row. Yeah, we're going to talk about him, Steven. I'll bring him up here in a minute. Yeah, Jackson Powers Johnson. I just have a feeling that he's going to be gone by the time the Steelers pick at 20. But who knows? But JD brought up something as we were on Allen Robinson there. JD said, Was it JD? No, Steven brought it up. That his production did go up when Mason was inserted as the starting quarterback. And I will say, yes, but was it the numbers that you would want to see from a slot guy? Did you feel comfortable with him? What do you think, Sean? Do you think you would go out and get another veteran, or would you try to bring in a young rookie out of this draft class maybe to take that spot?
I would try to get a young rookie personally, some stud that's coming out the draft. And, I guess, if they wanted to stick around with him, he would have to take a significant pay cut, and really work with the team to help them get better and fill in other holes. But, yeah, man, I hope that they let him go and go a different way and get a younger guy.
I do too. Oh, thank you, 24K. What's up, brother? I appreciate you saying that. I hope you feel better. Thank you, man. This is the guy that Steven was talking about, Sean, is Jerome Baker, the Miami Dolphins inside linebacker, a guy that has 22 and a half career sacks. He's 27 years old, from Cleveland, Ohio. Like I said, currently plays on the Miami Dolphins. He's from the Ohio State Buckeyes. He has 2 defensive scores. He's age 27. I think he might be a solid guy, man. Honestly, I think if they could get somebody like that, that would be clutch. Is that what you're kind of looking for? That type of production from a guy on that veteran free agency waiver wire type thing, to where you're looking in free agency? That's the type of production that you're looking for. Or would you rather go there at the inside linebacker in a more young way? Or would you be happy with maybe wily veterans like this guy that have some production? They're 27 years old. What do you think?
Man, honestly, Jerome Baker, he wouldn't be a bad pickup. You got some good
No.
experience. Like you're saying, that's always great to bring in is somebody with some experience and on a team that's been relevant too lately. So that'd be a pretty good thing to do. Honestly, yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I like Jerome Baker. I think that would be a solid thing there, Steven, for sure. That's a good point to bring up. What's up, Oscar? Just hopping on. You didn't miss much. We're just starting to talk here and get moving here on Steel City Live here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm Jason. That's Sean. Hit that like button for us, guys, as we march through our live show here on a Tuesday. We're going to try to go as long as we can, as long as I feel up to it here. But I'm going to try to push through, muster through this, and keep on going. I got my sugar intake, so maybe that'll help me. But yeah, we're moving through, Oscar. Nothing crazy yet. But damn, that would be a good pickup. I'm looking at his production here still, and I really think that would be solid. And I think that that's where the Steelers need to go, man. Yeah, I definitely do. Hey, how about what do you guys think of grabbing Mitch Morse? I don't like it. Did we pick him up? I'm not sure. I have to look at it, man. Who? Mitch Morse. I didn't see that one. Let me look up his production. What's that?
Is he the center?
Oh, okay. Bills released Jordan Poyer. Oh, okay. And Mitch Morse. I didn't see that one. Good bring up there, Oscar, for sure, man. I didn't see that one. He's 31 years old though. 304 pounds, 6'6". Guys don't. Here's the thing, guys, with center, and this is my opinion, and I'm not sure what Sean thinks of it. Center is a position that you hold on to and you don't let go no matter what. If you have a good one, you pay them what they want, you get the deal done no matter what. You don't let these guys go unless you feel like they've aged out or they want way too much money that you're not willing to separate with it, or you can't financially do it. Or maybe they have an injury of some sort. There's definitely some issue there. And if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you're trying to identify a center target inside of free agency, you have to look at everything there. You have to be dotting your I's and crossing your T's, because you can't leave any stone uncovered with a center. What do you think about that, Sean, grabbing a center in free agency, especially somebody that was released like a Mitch Morse from Buffalo Bills? What would you think about getting a guy like that? Or do you think the Steelers are taking too much a risk in the free agency market, considering center's a spot that just isn't thrown around in this league?
Yeah, they're kind of taking a big gamble if they go for a center that just got released. I think they should stick to. You got, several good centers that are in the draft that's capable of coming in and stepping up and performing on a high level. And also they're young, and durable. You don't want to get these guys that have been in there. Once they get into your 30s and you're playing on the line, you're pretty beat up. I mean, look at Cam
Yeah.
Hayward and these guys. It's a gamble, and we already got enough gambling going on. And I'd
Yeah.
like to see him get to the draft, and get one of these younger guys.
Yeah, and Robert Road even says he thinks you can get a good rookie center for cheap in the draft instead of signing a 32-year-old. And I agree. And you guys know my philosophy with this. I don't like getting older, and I don't think Sean really does either, unless it's an absolute player that's a gem that we really, really could do big things with. But getting older is not the direction that you need to go as an NFL football team. And getting a guy like this, going to be 32, Robert brought that up. He'll be 32 next year. Guy that's 300 and some pounds, carrying a lot of weight on that 6'6" frame for a lot of years. And like Sean said, taking a beating inside the trenches. And I don't think that that's the best route. Now, you may find a guy that can be serviceable if you have to. And there's only probably 3 or 4 centers that I'd probably really, really want in a draft. I mean, there may be more down the road that you could take that could have a good chance to be serviceable. So you're looking at maybe 5 or 6 good prospects. And can you get one of them in the top, 3 rounds? Probably, possibly, I would say. Ray's Roberts. I miss Pouncey. Me too.
Me
Me.
three.
uh, Oscar says Southeast Los Angeles for life. Oscar, he says, yeah, grabbing an older center is like that one hot chick that is older. You automatically start thinking, what's the catch? Yeah, what's the catch? You're taking people's dirty laundry. What about that, Sean? I'm not even talking about the center spot anymore. Do you get leery in free agency? This is just a general free agency. Do you get leery unless it's just a contract dispute guy? But do you get leery when these teams can make these big deals and can manipulate cap numbers to make these players work on their roster financially? But they just say, we're going to pass. Do you get worried that sometimes you're maybe picking up somebody's dirty laundry in free agency?
Man, absolutely. It would have to be a gem, and that they're solid. And yeah, maybe a contract dispute, something like that. But like you said, I'm all about getting younger, man. You gotta build and start young and get these guys to develop. You don't want to
Yeah,
bring
I
in these.
agree. I agree, man. You got to get them young, man. D says, can we start calling him Gandalf Hayward? Roberta, she agrees going in the draft. What's up, Roberta? D, tall people don't last long. 2 things you never see: really old tall people or really fat old people. True, true. I hate to say it, but it's true. It's definitely true. Uh, you see any comments, Sean? You can feel free to read any. Roberta Campbell, with such holes the Steelers need to fill, they can even afford to go after free agents, considering the salary they would have to pay out. You're going to have to go after some free agents. You're going to have to fill some holes, Roberta, for sure. No doubt about it. You have to fill some holes in free agency. You're not going to be able to do it entirely through the draft, especially if you want to move up and grab a guy like a center, like Sean and I like some of these top-notch centers. And I'm sure you guys do too. But you're going to have to put a package together to climb up in the draft, probably to get some of them guys. So you're going to have to go in free agency to answer some of these questions. All right, I'm going to move through some more chat messages. Anything you see, Sean, feel free. Go ahead, man.
I heard that the Steelers were showing interest in Van Pran. Did you hear anything about that, bro?
I
Because he's
don't think it
somebody.
would be a bad pick. Do you?
No, I think it would be a good pick. Honestly, he's a solid center, and or is he
Yeah.
tackle? I'm getting mixed
Oh
up.
no, he's a center. He's a center. Van Pran's the center. He's
Van
the
Pran,
third-rated
yeah,
center in this draft, in the
there we go.
2024 draft.
Hey, and you know what? That'd be solid, and he might be around. Come if they want to fill that hole in the first round or second round, they maybe get their hands on Van Pran, bro, because they've already shown interest in this guy.
Yeah. Stephen Carpenter brings up a good point here, Stephen, and I got to hand it to you on this one. And I know a lot of people don't think of this, Stephen, and maybe it's not appealing to some people. But with the number 20 overall pick, that could hold some good trade value. And I'm not necessarily a have to guy with that. Like you would have to trade the 20th overall pick to gain more draft capital, whatever. But that could be a good possibility. You may be able to get 2 or 3 more picks. And I think that's something that you have to really look at the draft. Do you feel that it's deep enough to be able to do that, or trade back in the first round and still gain some more picks? I like that idea. What do you think about that, Sean? Maybe trade him back with a team that's maybe, in the last few picks of the first round, swap first rounders with them and maybe get another second or third round pick. What would you say about the Steelers doing that and just getting out of that 20 hole?
Man, I wouldn't be opposed to that, especially if they can go out there and get somebody like JPJ, you wouldn't hear me complain,
Yeah, me
If
either,
they
man.
score with big name guys like that, yeah, I would be all for it, bro. You wouldn't hear, like I say, no complaints over here.
Yeah, and if you gain a little bit of draft capital, you still get a guy that can make a difference in the first round. I mean, I think that's a win-win all around. Uh, damn, I'm fat. Good thing I'm going back to very physical job. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, that's all right. You were hung up for a while with your knee. What's up, Sports 28? Roberta Campbell, do you know if they met with any centers at the combine? I don't think they did. At least I don't think so. I can't recall. I don't think so. Roberta likes to trade back. Oster, we should do what we did last year. Oh, trade up. Yeah, you could. Got to get him younger is Bill Clinton's catchphrase. Yeah, good one, D. No doubt about that, bro.
It wasn't
The
too
good
much to
old
read
Clinton.
off.
Here's the thing, man, about trading all these picks, about doing all this stuff. You gotta get younger, man, and that is the biggest thing. And I keep saying that. And you got to utilize your weapons that you currently have. Get them involved. Build off of what you have inside of that building is my philosophy in this whole thing. Always take your best players, and say to yourself, how do I make my good and my very best players? How do I make them better? How do I help them? How do I complement them? I think that's the key to all this. And I'm not sure if I'm wrong or not, but I think that that's really what you got to be looking for. When you're building this roster, Sean, you're trying to get younger. What are you looking for? Are you looking for that complementary players? Or are you looking for, I got to go out there and I got to get superstars? I got to hit on everybody. They all got to be superstars. Are you looking for complementary players? And if you get lucky and get a superstar, so be it.
You gotta have some complementary players in there too, because this is a team game. You can't have everybody wanting to be the star, wanting to get the ball on every snap of the game and getting upset and having their little diva, fits on the side of the field or even on the field. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta get guys in there that know their role and they play that role well, and they take it like a
Yeah.
job. Go out there, do your job each and every snap, and give the ball to the playmakers and let them put points on the board.
Yeah, man. Just play a team game. Robert said they did meet with multiple centers. I couldn't remember, Robert. They may have. They met with so many people. I kind of lost track. Doug P says, didn't they meet with the center from Oregon? I could be wrong, but I thought you guys may be right. The meetings, I kind of, they all blurred together for me, and then I had some health stuff going on. So I kind of got mixed up. So I probably don't remember, but you guys are probably right for sure. Oscar thinks, do you guys think, or asks, do you guys think this year is going to be a bust? I do not. I think the Steelers are in a quality position. They have a tremendous amount of draft capital in my eyes. They have a pick in basically every round except for one, and they have two in round four. In the round that they don't have a pick in is round what, 5? And who cares? Whatever. It's a fifth round pick. You got two fourths. I'm okay with it. But I think they have enough draft capital. I think they're going to make enough cap space available to be real players inside of free agency. And I think they're going to bring back an NFL quarterback in Mason Rudolph. And I think they're going to be able to succeed. Do I think they're going to be Super Bowl champs next year? Absolutely not. But do you think, Sean, that next year is going to be a bust?
No, I don't think so either, man. I think that they make some good draft picks. Like if Omar Khan can kind of replicate that, have the same kind of draft that he did last year and do well, I think I could see the Steelers doing really well in the AFC North, making the playoffs, and then making a deep push this year. Hopefully, go all the way. I wouldn't say all the way to the Super Bowl, but man, at least get to the championship game and square
Something.
up. Somebody's got
Yeah.
to go punch Patrick Mahomes right in the mouth. Damn it!
Yeah, no shit.
I'm going to pick him.
RJ says, Kenny, Jenny Two Gloves got to get better. His hands got to grow a bit more. He did try to stretch them out, guys. It didn't work too well. RJ says, Bears fan here. I really think the Steelers are the next dynasty. No cap. Maybe repeat Super Bowl champions 28-29. They could be setting up for that. I mean, they could. And I hope you're right, RJ. I hope your prediction is absolutely right. What's up, Miss Pittsburgh? But here's the thing, Sean. I don't think Omar Khan can really screw this draft up. He had an excellent draft in 2023. He has enough holes on the football team that when he makes some of these picks, he's still filling holes. He's still getting best player available. I said it on the pod this morning. Uh, I think that it's going to be tough for him to mess this up. I think there's several directions he can go, and I think all of them work. What do you think? Do you think there's a lot of roads that they could travel inside of this draft? Do you think it's going to be hard to screw this up? Or do you think it could be pretty easy for him to jack this shit up?
I think it would honestly be pretty hard to screw this up. It's pretty easy to see as we talk about these things every week. It seems like we understand that what they need to do. We know what holes need to be filled. We know what guys are out there that need to be drafted. These guys in the organization damn well better too. So yeah, you better not screw this up.
Yeah. RJ asked, does Ben Roethlisberger have a son? He has two sons and a daughter. Yeah, one of them's pretty athletic. He's a good golfer, believe it or not. Big Ben was a tough son of a bitch, man. We got
Yeah.
to say it. Big Ben was tough. He did well. He played well. And he cared about one thing, winning. And I don't think he cared about individual statistics as much as maybe some people think he was self-centered. I think he is a douchebag sometimes in interviews and things like that. But on the field, I thought he was a real leader. I thought he played as well as he could play and gave it everything he got. He played injured. He won Super Bowls. He lost Super Bowls. He gave a shit. I mean, there wasn't much more than you could ask for, RJ. Oscar, it just hurts so much because TGE clock is ticking badly for the clock is ticking badly for Watt, Minka, and Cam. Yes. And I
Yeah.
got to agree. And I think that's becoming a monster issue. We talk about getting younger. We talk about getting older and not wanting to get older. But Father Time is creeping on these guys, Sean. This
Yeah.
window's probably open a few more years for guys like maybe Cam. They don't even make it a few more years, but TJ and Minka specifically. They got to strike now. And do you think it's time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to dump every damn resource they can to get these guys a Super Bowl? Do you think they got to abandon all game plans, or can they continue to just build how they are and just hope those guys are there when they finally reach that goal?
Man, you got to just build and get what you can. Get those, you can't just go for all the big names and make all these risky drafts, if you will. You want to get people out the draft, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't gamble too much on that, bro. If it would be sad if they're not around to make the big game, but I think that you can't rush it just for these two guys because they're getting old. You got to stick with the game plan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree. I agree with you, Sean. What's up, C Steelers? All right, guys, make sure you hit that like button as we move through the show here on Steel City Live, only on Mike Drop Sports. I'm Jason, that's Sean. This is our normal Wednesday show where Sean joins me here as we talk Steelers NFL and just have a damn good time. I just read an awesome comment from D. I got to read it. Someone called Kenny Pickett Kenny Kitten Mittens. I love it. I love it. Yes, that wins the best comment of the day for YouTube, in my opinion. Sean has disappeared. I don't know
I'll be
what he's
right back.
doing. All right, Sean is out. Sean is out, and I am your lone soldier yet again. All right, Doug P. As long as they take a quality center and tackle in the first two rounds, I'll consider it a success. I'll consider it a success, Doug. I agree with you. Center, tackle, I'm cool with. I'd be 1,000% on board with that. I wouldn't complain about a top shelf cornerback either. I think if they hit in those three positions in rounds 1 and 2, I think that this draft would be a complete success, regardless of kind of what happens later. If you can fill those needs in that first 3 picks and hit with good players, I think that would be awesome, man. That would really be cool. See Steelers, did you hear that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift part ways? No, I didn't. I don't really pay attention to that, man. I know it's good. It's actually a good thing for the NFL. I know a lot of people thought it was a bad thing, but it is a good thing. Brought a lot of eyes to our game that normally wouldn't be on this game. And I can't say that I hated it, but I really didn't follow it that well. So maybe they did, man. I did see Travis very emotional at his brother's retirement. His brother never officially retired until just yesterday or the day before. And that was a very emotional time for Jason Kelsey, one of the better centers to play this game of football. And it definitely was trying for Travis to sit there and watch his brother part ways with something that he's loved so much for so long. And talk about two good dudes. I don't mind either one of the Kelsey brothers. I think they're good for football. I just think Jason Kelsey is a stand-up dude, a legit dude, and one of the better centers that I've seen play the game, uh, especially for a guy that started out playing linebacker for the University of Cincinnati Bearcats, getting to switch positions to a center. Uh, that's just big, man. All right, Sean is back. What's up?
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, Sean had to shit, guys. It only took him 30 seconds, but he was able to shit. As you can
Yeah.
tell, things aren't tight there no more. So,
I had
way
to
to go,
go.
Sean.
I had to go sign for a package that I did not expect to show up today. Sorry, you guys.
No, you're okay. Hey, I dipped on you the other day. Shit, and I called off work yesterday. I said, hey, I couldn't see coming in, man. I can't see. All
I
right.
knew you could handle it, brother.
I can handle it sometimes. I try. It's tough. Robert Road, keep building as slow and steady. That wins the race. But then again, like a coffee mug that I have says, Lord grant me patience and please give it to me now. Yeah, you gotta have patience. This game of building a football team, a roster, you can't just throw it together. It's got to be built, and it's got to be built with care, man. It really, really does. And I agree with what Sean was saying before he left. I 1000% slow, steady, build the right pieces. Don't just jump into shit, guys. You can't do that. And I know people want to see big name free agents. I know people want to see big signings, but you just can't. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. You know, that's what I'm looking at. All right. We're back on board. See, Steelers, give me the NFL dream team. You're ready to throw it all together like the USA basketball boys. uh, Doug P. He was third best center to ever play in PA. Webster and Dawson, the top two. I got to say, Dermontti Dawson was one of my favorite Steelers of all time. What do you think about that center, Sean?
Dawson,
Yeah, Dermontti Dawson for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
legend, man. That guy's a legend. He was amazing. We
Yeah.
you don't come across centers like him every so often. He's a once in a lifetime kind of a
Yeah.
gem.
Top three centers for the Pittsburgh Steelers: Mike Webster, Dermontti Dawson, and Marquise Pouncey. Those are the three best centers I've ever seen play for the Steelers, or at least watch highlights of. Because you get back to the Mike Webster days. That's before my time, but I remember Dermontti Dawson playing. I remember seeing it as a kid, and man, he was just a ball player, man, just a real ball player. I remember being up in the stands at Three Rivers Stadium with Dermontti Dawson playing center when Rod Woodson blew his ACL out in the year they went and played the Super Bowl against the Dallas Cowboys, blew that ACL out. I remember sitting in the stands and the silence that fell over that stadium when Rod Woodson hit Three Rivers turf was instant, man. They knew something was wrong. You could even tell during the play, and I was sitting in the upper deck. So, yeah.
I
Mansfield
agree.
was good too, man. You're right, George.
Yep. Mansfield. That's what I was gonna say. Don't forget Mansfield.
No, you're right, man. Dirty D was awesome. Dawson Pulling was awesome for the position. You got to guys who are going to remember. I think Dermontti Dawson was ahead of his time playing the game, in my eyes, anyway. Like you just brought up, with being able to pull, with being able to move around. He was a faster guy in my eyes for his size, moving around good, able to get out on the pull, blocked excellent. Head on a swivel. A guy that made all the right calls, a real leader. You just don't find that all the time, and that's where I think we need to be in the draft. What's your if you have to go somewhere, Sean, for pick, you're staying at 20, and Jackson Powers Johnson is, still on the board at 14 per se. You know there's teams in front of you that want a center. You know, Jags do, the Seahawks do. But there he is, still on the board, just ahead of those teams picking. If you're the Steelers and he's still there, do you make a move to try to jump those teams to get your man Jackson Powers Johnson?
No, I wouldn't
Mm.
personally. If they want him, let them take him because, like I say, you got guys like Van Pran that are going to be available, and they can do that job just as good. Maybe I should say maybe just as good, but maybe if good, if not better. Who knows?
Yeah.
I wouldn't make that. It's a risky move, man. It really is because let's say you do that and then it doesn't really pan out the way you want it to. Then you're going to have people kind of jumping your ass for doing that and then costing them later on down in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would be on the fence with that one, man. What's up, Steeler Wade? Robert,
And
somebody brought up a good point here. Let me find it. George did. He said Mike Webster was a long snapper, too. That's pretty cool. You don't see that today, the center being a long snapper, huh?
right. But at the same time, like I say, that gamble, like a guy like JPJ, maybe he is one of those generational kind of guys, and is it worth the risk? I'm just on the fence about it, you guys. I'm just weighing it out. There's no filter from my brain through my mouth right now. You guys are hearing me think out loud, and I don't know, man, because you got 2 or 3 good centers in the draft that's coming up, and do you want to make that risk? I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, you got to weigh the variables, man.
That's right.
George, you must know me if you're calling me Jake, because there ain't very many people that still call me Jake. All right, let's keep moving. Doug P. So glad I brought up Dawson, showing the man some love. He so often gets undermentioned in today's game. I'll give it to you, man. Doug, he was amazing, and yes, anytime he can get some props, we got to give them to him because he deserves them. Dermonte Dawson is a Steelers legend. Let's be honest, guys. Oh, Steeler Wade is Jake. Oh, I was gonna say that used to be my nickname growing up. Everybody called me Jake where I lived when I was growing up. Everybody always called me Jake. That's why I was like, you must know me or something if you're calling me that. Okay, Steeler Wade. So maybe we're called the same thing, Jake. Ain't that some crazy shit?
I'm reading some crazy shit right now, bro. This was just
What?
posted 2 hours ago by Sports Illustrated saying that Pittsburgh could be a landing spot for the 49ers, Chase Young, the linebacker. What do you guys think about
He
that? What's
he was
up with him?
connected to him last year. Ahead of I think last year or maybe the year before, and that was whenever he was getting ready to depart the Washington Commanders. Nothing ever happened. They weren't able to make the move, but he was able to you know provide a little bit of spark there for the San Francisco defense and play some snaps. I wouldn't hate it. I don't think it would be a bad move. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, that guy's solid. Because my wife, she's a 49er fan, so I happen to catch a few 49er games, and I was really impressed with their linebacking core in San Francisco. They had a really good defense. These guys are running
Yeah.
all over the place and making big hits, and yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see somebody like that come through, I'd say.
Yeah, and honestly, too, guys, even you're talking about the linebackers just in general, you're looking at a football team like the San Francisco 49ers, and you're thinking to yourself, damn, I want the Steelers to have a linebacking core like that. So what you're looking for, because you probably ain't getting all these players off of the 49ers teams, you might get a free agent here or whatever. So what we need to be looking for are players to do what? Play well side to side, guys that are able to hit gaps and fill gaps. Guys that are real fundamentally sound, smart football players with their head on a swivel and they see the plays developing. You got to have smart guys at inside linebacker. And I think that's what made a Landon Roberts so good this year. Playing injured, but he was damn smart. He was a smart ball player. What do you
Yeah.
think about a Landon Roberts coming back, Sean? He's the only one that's really a value right now that I know that's really coming back that's not beat up and injured, What do you think about a guy like a Landon Roberts? Did you think he played smart football last year?
I love the way he played last year. he made me a fan pretty quick. First game when he went out there and started running, he was making tackles left and right. Literally, he was all over the field, and they couldn't get away from him. And I was referring to him as our menace. He was the menace of our defense to
Yeah,
all
he
the
was.
offense there. And I would love to see him come back and play for Pittsburgh again, man. That guy's awesome.
Well, he's on the roster, so he'll be back. So thank God. I think he's a solid dude for sure.
Yeah,
I just liked him.
and his injury was, he's going to heal 100%. You think, huh?
Yeah, that pec. I mean,
Yeah.
those types of big muscle strains, you guys got to look at the muscles, like big muscle groups, your pectoral muscles, your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your calf muscles, the big long muscles. Sometimes those take a little bit of time to develop. We saw that happen with Cam Hayward. He underwent some surgeries. He went under, I think, 3 surgeries this offseason, I think. I think he got his knee scoped. He had another groin, and something else, I think. So, yeah, crazy shit.
Yeah.
JPJ or Frazier need to be a Steeler. That would be awesome. That would work out amazing, Robert, I think. Waylon Bizup, what do you think Pittsburgh is going to do for their quarterback, and what do you think their wide receivers going to like him? I think they're going for Mason Rudolph. I think they've already talked to Mason Rudolph. I'm sure they already have at least his representation. The legal tampering period starts on March 11th. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers already know what they're going to offer Mason Rudolph when this free agency period starts. And I want you guys to start watching. They're going to clear some cap space here ahead of free agency. They're going to restructure, extend. They're going to release some people. They're going to figure out new deals with people to lower their cap hit. They're going to make some moves, and they're going to be able to sign Mason Rudolph. And I think it's going to be between $5 and $7 million per year for 2 years. That's just my guess. But I think Mason Rudolph will be back. And I think the Steelers wide receivers love Mason Rudolph. Do you think, Sean, with Mason Rudolph possibly coming back, do you think that would maybe make the Steelers maybe a little less willing to trade a guy like Deontay Johnson since he has good chemistry with Mason?
I think that they would still be willing to
Yeah.
say it or not. I think that possibly moving him around is going to help financially a lot more than what Deontay brought to the team last year. I'm not saying he's a scrub. I do like Deontay Johnson. He runs amazing routes. But he kind of has a tendency of not running the right route sometimes here and there. He's shown, and he can drop a few passes here and there. And, I personally wouldn't be mad if they parted ways with Deontay.
I wouldn't be pissed. Thank you, Matt. Matt Raynard. I'm a true Bears fan, but I really love your show. Thank you, man. We love having you, man. Thank you for watching.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
All right, guys. As always, hit that like button for us. Hit that subscribe button for us. Hit the share button. Everything that you can do to help us out in that way would be greatly appreciated. We added some emojis. So if you're a member of the Mic Drop Mafia, which is like 99 cents a month, I think, if you have those, you can have some of the emojis in there. There's one of Sean. There's one that's supposed to be me. I think there's a terrible towel, some things like that. And then you get a badge beside your name, like 24K. There's different badge levels that will say how long you've been a member of the Mic Drop Mafia. But it'll all be able to be used here on Steel City Live here, only on Mic Drop Sports with us, Jason, and that's Sean. And we appreciate having you. I just wanted to let you guys know, thank you, Steeler Wade, that you can get those badges and things of that nature if you're a member of our channel. All you have to do is go hit the member part up there by the LODs on the channel page. You'll see it'll go to like memberships, and you can buy a membership there if you want the emojis. That's up to you guys. You can also donate memberships, I think, too. So, but anyway, as we move on. 24K. I say the Steelers do something bold and take a punter in the first round. Wouldn't that be some shit, dude? I'd be pissed off. I'd be pissed off, man. What about you, Sean? If the Steelers do some dumb shit like that.
Man, that is hilarious. That's seriously a good laugh, dude. Thanks for posting that. I don't even know what to say to that other than that's hilarious. That's great.
A-Rob is going to get a new contract that will pay him around $3 million per season. Artie loves his blocking wide receivers. Yeah, and I don't think Deontay is quite the blocker that Artie Smith is going to be looking for, guys. That's where I think that Deontay is expendable. He proved it last year, didn't he? I don't think he blocked really well downfield. All right. All right, let's go to the next one. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
What was up with the Steelers receivers fumbling after the catch at the end of the last season? That's what I'm referring to.
You cut out, Sean. You must have got a text. What'd you say now?
Just basically, yeah, that's what I was kind of insinuating with Deontay. They were dropping some passes, and I was wondering what the hell was going on too.
Yeah, the fumbling at the end of catches, you had that from everybody. Pat Freiermuth, Deontay, George. I mean, you had it from all over.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a problem.
Yeah,
and some of them were literally hitting receivers in the chest. The ball.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, who knows, man? It was definitely an issue, and I think that went with Frisbin Jackson and the lack of discipline in that room. I don't think the Steelers were a very disciplined ball club last year. Thank you, Camden. I'm okay right now. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You for asking. I don't think the Steelers were a disciplined ball club last year at all. I think that should be their main concern this year, in my eyes, is getting this football team back to being a disciplined football team, not getting personal foul penalties at weird times, not getting illegal formation penalties all the time, not getting all these false starts, things of that nature, just fundamentally unsound football. What do you think about that, Sean? And whose feet does that lie at? I say Mike Tomlin. But do you think of it's more of a position group type thing to where these position group coaches should be more disciplined and have a more structured room inside of that building on South Water Street?
That's got to fall on Mike Tomlin. That's the head coach's job, is to go out there and make sure that shit doesn't happen. You got, Mike Tomlin, if he sees somebody out there having a little fit because they didn't get the ball and then they didn't go out there and perform a block, they should have been pulled right off the field and benched for the rest of the game right there and been, make an example out of somebody for acting up like that. And that happened last year with Pittsburgh, and Tomlin didn't even pull him out of the game. So, yeah, I think it's a Tomlin problem.
Now, I did hear this with Tomlin, and several players say this, but we don't know because I ain't in the building. You're not in the building. Nobody's in the building, during these meetings. But I guess he will call players out in the meetings. I don't think that's enough. Like you just said, pull a guy out of a damn game. I don't give a shit. If you're costing us yards and costing us chances to score the football, your ass got to come out, and I'll let you sit for a series. It ain't going to be that detrimental, man.
Yeah, do it.
So anyway,
right on national television, right in front of everybody. Bench his ass and do it with fire, and let everybody know this shit will not be tolerated. And if you do it, this is what's going to happen to you right in front of America. Yeah. Don't do it.
And guys will say, "Oh, they're millionaires. They don't care if you bench them." People will say that. Yeah, it will. It will matter because down the road, people are going to look, "Oh, this dude's a jackass. Am I going to go out and pay him $30 million contract over 3 years when he's a guy that's getting benched for being undisciplined? Do I really want to make that effort to get him on my ball club?" No, it does affect him. And I think if you are a more disciplined guy at times, I'm not saying you need to be a freaking asshole, but I'm saying that you need to just let the message be known that you got to have some damn discipline and that things are going to go my way or it's the highway, baby. Peace out.
Damn straight.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What'd Robert say? Wasn't Ray Guy first rounded drafted? Punter by Al Davis and the Raiders. The Ray Guy Award. You might be right. I don't know if he was a first round pick. Let me see. Ray Guy. Let's see. We'll look him up. But Ray Guy, definitely, yeah, he was amazing, man. He's a Hall of Famer now. He played for the Oakland Raiders. We know that. He wore number 8. I can't find where he was drafted. I don't know. Ray Guy draft position. Ray Guy draft position. This is a good question. Now I need to know. He was the 23rd player chosen in 1973 by the Oakland Raiders and Al Davis. Yes, that's true. Good job, man. Yeah, Robert
Wow.
Rowe knows his shit. He does, dude. He always got some good shit. D, it happened to Pickens, Deontay, and Muth. Yeah, dude, the drops. Look at the playoff game against the Bills, Sean. Pat Fryermuth, just a random freaking drop. George Pickens, a random drop after they had already caught the damn football. That cost you games, man. That cost you games. You know?
Well, I think D has a good comment in response to that. The receivers went so long with a bad quarterback, they forgot how to run after the catch.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, Kenny Kitten Mittens. Yeah, Kenny Kitten Mittens, couldn't get him the football that often. Hey, where's Abe? Where's Jenny Two Gloves man from Tulsa, the University of Tulsa, the one and only Abe? We haven't seen him tonight. We'll have to see if he comes back. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny. Oh, D. Or Doug P says Janikowski was a first round pick, I think, too. Wow. The Raiders, all types of first round pick kickers. Leave it to the Raiders. They're the only ones that do that, you know?
Well, they can't score in the red zone, so they better have a good kicker.
Oh, yeah, no shit. Steeler Wade, I'm glad I was able to catch the live tonight for a bit. I have to make my coffee and go to bed. 4:30 comes early. Have a great night, Steeler Nation. You too, Steeler Wade. You guys check out Steeler Wade on YouTube. You can check his stuff out on his channel. Just look, the Steeler Wade showed up and help Steeler Wade out. Thanks, Steeler Wade. We appreciate you coming through, my friend.
Yeah, have a good night, Wade.
Jenny Two Gloves. Not enough Kenny Love to keep Abe around. Probably not, man. He'll be back. Robert Road. I'm 58 years old, and I've watched football since NFL since 1970. Al Davis would draft X Worthy the first round. Yeah, no shit, man. He'll get anybody in the first round if they can run a quick 40. That's how he was. Yeah, Robert Road, that's a long time to be watching football, brother. You're still a young buck, though. You got a lot of years of football to still watch.
Yep.
All right. Doug P. Be Nice Johnson didn't know which way to run after a catch for the longest time, also. Guys, I got to say this. To some, this may sound like I'm a real asshole or that I'm picking on Deontay Johnson or something. But do you guys think? I feel like Deontay Johnson's a real dumbass. I got to say it. Listen to his interviews and shit. I don't know. Am I being too critical of him, Sean? Am I being over the top? I mean, the guy running backwards, I feel like he's just bad situationally. Like he's not a heads up football player. In his interviews, he sounds like a dumbass. Am I wrong? Or am I going too far?
I agree. I do agree. He kind of said some shit last year. I was just like, man, you got to just keep your mouth quiet. You know, when it comes to being a sports icon or you're playing at a high level in the NFL, you got to carry
Yeah.
yourself in a professional manner. And I was even taught this not even being professional, growing up in just sports alone, pee-wee football, baseball, whatever. You don't complain, you don't cry, you don't do any of that shit. You don't agree with something, too bad. You keep your mouth shut. Go back and learn from your mistake and fix it
Yeah.
yourself. That's you learn from these things, and yeah, you got to. I'm not one for japping around the mouth. You got to keep your mouth closed.
Yeah, I agree, man. You got to. You got to just keep yourself solid. You can't be a jackass. You got to act like you have some sort of intelligence level, That's just my opinion. Robert, I already know always know what Super Bowl it is. Yep, yeah. Got to keep them numbers. Yep, you're 58. Yep, you're right on track, brother. No doubt. Doug P., I refer to him as Wrong Way Johnson to my friend. Yeah, I don't try to refer to him as anything to my friends because I don't want him to know I'm associated with he's kind of dumb. I don't know. I just really think he's stupid, man. I can't even hide it anymore. I try to defend him a lot, and I'm not saying he's a bad athlete. I feel like he's made some solid plays, but man, is he dumb. I don't know. I'm harping on it. I know. All right. D, he looked pretty good with Mason in. I wouldn't get rid of him unless you can 100%. True, you got to replace his productivity. I just think he's a dumbass. That's just my only thing. I think if he could become a more heads up football player, keep his brain in a little bit more of a tight space, not let it get outside of his head a little bit to where he's doing stupid shit. I feel like maybe that new wide receivers coach will maybe get that room in order a little bit. What do you think about that, Sean? Now that there's a new wide receivers coach in place, maybe that room gets a little bit more structure. What says you?
I hope so, man. They need a lot more structure from what I saw last year. That seemed to be the big problem in my eyes. That new coach, I was wondering, is he going to come in there and is Arthur Smith going to, lay on some law on the offense and maybe
Yeah.
help bring in more structure and help the team out that way? Let's hope so.
Yeah. 24K. Just think this time next week we are going to be able to all be are able to be talking about free agent signings. We will know where Mason goes and others. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Free agency tampering period starts May 10th for your Pittsburgh Steelers and every team across the NFL. And here's another one, guys. Before we get moving too far, D says that the wide receiver coach could make a huge difference. I think so too. I agree with you, Sean. You guys, I think it could matter. And I think adding some discipline matters for sure. The man can run a route with the best of them. Absolutely, he can. He's probably the best route runner in the NFL right now, if you ask me. But he's just, again, stupid. That's just the only part. You can't run wrong routes in the NFL. You can't get outside of your game. You can't let outside noise affect you. Every little situation can hinder your game. You got to be more professional than that. All right, guys, hit that like button. Hit that like button for your boys. Crush that shit for us. There's ways to help the channel in the bio. Feel free to do so if you like. Also, guys, if you can become a member, you get emojis. You get all that other stuff to put in the chat. You can use those. Those are fun to always have. But again, I'm Jason. That's Sean, and this is Steel City Live, only here on Mike Drop Sports. We'll go for a little bit longer. Again, guys, I don't feel the best, so we'll try to keep pushing through for just a little while longer. You still good, Sean?
Oh, absolutely, brother. You're doing really good, man.
Trying my best here. D, I think a new wide receiver coach can make. Oh yeah, I already read that. JD, I get the cap reason to maybe move Robinson, but do you think it was Canada's system? If we keep him one more year and see, I'm not sure. You see that decline a little bit, maybe, and you might want to contribute that to maybe that injury that you saw when he was with the Rams. He had major productivity with the Jacksonville Jaguars, with the Chicago Bears. He was a real franchise type wide receiver during those times. But now that he's been with the Steelers, he got injured with the Rams. That lack of production wasn't there. Sean, do you think Allen Robinson maybe was just underutilized? And that was the reason his production wasn't there in the 2023 season.
Possible, absolutely, yeah. Because I kept seeing Kenny Pickett, hit his check down a lot and kept taking lots of sacks and just running out the pocket. And, he doesn't really goes through his reads as good as he should. And maybe that was part of it, maybe give him another year and see if he does better. I wouldn't be against it myself, but I also wouldn't complain if they parted ways. I'm just on the fence with Robinson. But maybe that was a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, and maybe Matt Canada was the reason. And maybe we all think too, maybe Matt Canada's system was just so simplistic. It wasn't able to get down to that, third type read. That's where that slot receiver comes in handy. Instead of checking it down to your running back, you could be looking for that slot receiver as your third progression to where you're getting through to that third progression and hitting the slot receiver underneath, across the middle, doing an out pattern, something to where, he runs when the protection breaks down and the quarterback gets on the move and that slot receiver bails you out. You saw Big Ben use a slot guy many times, a slot and a tight end. When he got out, got in trouble, and he found those guys for big yardage. You saw that a lot.
Yeah.
Cole asked for a shout out. There you go, Cole. Shout out.
Old
All
Levin.
right. All right. You always got to watch. I always got to read the name first because some people want you to give them a shout out. And then when you say the name, it'll be like Dick and Balls, something stupid. You got to watch, man. It's just, you got to watch. So I don't know. Sometimes I don't catch it, especially when we're having a heated conversation or talking about something serious and going a million miles a minute. I just read the shit,
It always reminds me of The Simpsons when they call the tavern at Moe's. They always ask for a certain person, and he calls it out, and everyone laughs at him.
Yeah, you get that kid going. What's that kid's laugh?
Nelson, yeah.
Yeah, Nelson. Hey, you can follow the lady that does Bart Simpson's voice. She actually does more voices on The Simpsons. She was like the stand-in for Marge and shit, like when that person wasn't there for the voice. But dude, she's funny. She'll like call people, go up to people, talk like Bart. It's pretty cool. I think she was Homer too. I don't know. Go Duff Beer,
That's
old
amazing.
Duff Beer. Guys, gotta admit, The Simpsons was the shit, man. All
Yeah.
right. Back to football. D. I think Canada was hamstrung by Kenny and not necessarily the other way around. Ooh, ooh. What do you think about that, Sean? Do you think that was more of a Kenny problem or more of a Matt Canada problem in year 3? Playing,
Well,
what do you have? How many games did Matt Canada have for the Steelers? I wonder. We got to look that up.
3 years, right?
3.
Uh,
It was 3 years. The Steelers didn't have a 400-yard game in what, like 58 games. So, what do you think,
I
Sean?
think I
More
think I
Kenny or more
saw
Matt?
it's probably more Kenny. That's my opinion. Just because I saw Mason Rudolph come in and work that same playbook, and he started putting numbers up. So I think that Kenny had something to do with it.
Yeah. And honestly, I can't say that you're wrong, and I can't say that D is wrong, and I have no valid argument that would say otherwise, other than what Mitch didn't succeed with him. Kenny didn't succeed with him. And Ben really didn't succeed with him in the latter part of his career. But all three of those guys, if you really look at it, even Ben later in his career, they don't push the ball down the field. And that hurts any offensive coordinator, guys. And it doesn't get talked about enough. You have to have a quarterback that pushes the ball down the field. And you saw that with Mason Rudolph. And I feel like that gets any offense going because it opens things up. What do you think about that, Sean? Do you think that that's a necessity for any offensive coordinator? Having a guy that can push the ball down the field and start to loosen up the defenses?
Yeah, it's a huge difference that it brings. It you saw like it's like a ripple effect that goes through the whole team. You got somebody that goes out there on the offense and starts pushing the ball down the field. You see points go up. All of a sudden, you're seeing players on the sidelines getting excited. They want to get out
Yeah,
there and they want to do it again. Before that, when you got out there and you're doing these 3 and outs over and over and over for 2 to 3 to almost 4 quarters a game, you look and you see the players on the sidelines and their heads are down and they're bummed out and they're not feeling it. You gotta have that guy that provides that spark, and that's exactly what Mason did last year. He went out there, he created that spark, and it rippled throughout the team, and they started stacking W's. So yeah, man, you got to have that somebody to push the ball down the field.
Soviet Russia says Ben had surgery on his elbow and couldn't throw the ball deep in his later career.
Yep.
If that's the case, we get that. We know he had his surgery. We know all that, but he came back. And if you can't push the ball down the field, it's time to hang up the cleats. And I love Ben Roethlisberger. I thought he was a freaking beast. One of the best Steelers of all time. He has 2 world titles. He's a Super Bowl champion. You can't take that from him. But if you can't push the ball down the field, you can't move the offense, man. In my eyes, you got to be able to get the ball pushed down the field. JD, that was Ben's last year, and I think he was looking ahead to retirement to care for a new system. You're possibly right there too, JD. He might have been looking ahead, but then shame on Ben, in my eyes. I think you got to be 100% all in. And what do you think about this, Sean? If you're an NFL player, especially at the quarterback position, I expect them to be all in. Do you think it would be wise or cool of anybody to just go out there being the leader of a football team and not having your head in the game and knowing that you're limited physically? Do you think that that's a shame on Ben moment?
Yeah, I do. Because you're only as good as your weakest link when it comes to the NFL, and if you're lacking in areas and it's going to cost the team, you should sit down, let the next guy step up and help out, and do what you can to help from the sidelines. Where
Yes.
help them identify defenses and calling plays or whatever it is you can do to help from the sidelines. Be a leader
Yeah.
like that. Know and
Yes.
know how to recognize when you're hurting the team and pull yourself out. Say, hey, you know what? Go in there and help me out. I'll
Yes.
help you from here. Yeah.
No doubt. We're going to continue talking about this, guys. I'm Jason. That's Sean. This is Steel City Live, only brought to you by Mike Drop Sports. Hit that like button for us. We're going to go for about 10 more minutes. My son gets done at 8:30 tonight with the off-season football program, which is absolutely insane for a high school kid to be practicing until 8:30 at night. And it's not even football season. But anyway, I admire their grind and I admire their willingness to get better. They were 5-5 last year, so they really want to get better, and I think that they're taking the right steps. So we'll wish the University High, Hawks, the best of luck next season in 2024. Let's go here. D. OK State had the best running back in the country last year, but when they couldn't pass, Ollie Gordon couldn't run. There, that proves it right there. Look at the Steelers' excellent run game. But when you can't move the ball and there's no threat of the pass, you get stuffed, you get jammed up, you put the offensive line in a bad spot. No matter who you have there. What do you think about that, Sean? Say you do get an awesome center prospect in Jackson Powers Johnson or Zach Frazier or Van Pran. You go out and you get one of these big right tackles, a Mims, a Latham, somebody, anybody, two good prospects. Now you have a complete offensive line. Solid. One of the better ones probably in the NFL if they all gelled together correctly. What do you think? If you have a quarterback that ain't going to push the ball, do you think they'll be able to run it no matter who's the offensive coordinator, no matter who's throwing it?
They're going to struggle no matter what. They're going to
Yeah.
stack the box, and they're not going to let you get through. And if you do, it's not going to be very many times per game. You've got to be able to throw the ball down the field to open up the run, and vice versa. You got to be able to run the ball to open up the pass. You got to be. It's got to be a multi-dimensional offense and defense, a team.
Yeah, and that's why Arthur Smith was successful in Tennessee. He used the run game to set up the pass. He took timely shots. He wasn't afraid to stretch the field when it had to be and open things up. And that's what you have to do, guys. And what do you guys think about the NFL possibly going to an 18-game season? I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. Hold on, let me put this dude in timeout because he's on my damn nerves.
I already got it.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. All right. George says, no, we have. Yeah, dude, I get tired of that shit. Guys, don't put dumbass shit in there. Nobody that's in here right now usually does. I know we're on like a shorts view too, so we'll get some random people in here. So I apologize for them ahead of time if they plug up the chat and say dumb shit. We try to moderate it the best we can. Sean tries to moderate when he's not on watching the show. So we try to do it up as best we can. All right, guys, we're going to start wrapping it up. I've about hit the end of my rope here. Starting to feel a little rough. So we'll wrap shit up. Any closing things, Sean?
I hope you guys all have a great night. It's always fun coming on here and talking football with you guys. Thanks for having me on the show, Jason. It's always fun to come on here and talk sports, man.
Yeah, man. Hello, happy life. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. We'll try to get you on another day this week. We're going to figure something out. There is going to be a time change that's going to put me 6 hours ahead of Sean. So we are going to adjust some things for that for when Sean comes on. But again, guys, I'm going to cut it a little bit short tonight. This is about 15 minutes, 10 minutes shorter than we normally go. So not too short. Yeah, feeling like shit. So I appreciate you guys coming through again. Crack that like button, share everything. Thanks, D. Thanks, George. Thank you to Sean. And we'll be back again, Sean. I'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll get on the phone here. We'll figure some shit out, and we'll be back with another live show tomorrow here on Mike Drop Sports for Steel City Live. All right, man. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Miss Pittsburgh. All right,
Thank you,
brother.
brother.
See you guys. Peace.
Have a good night, everybody.
Later, dudes.